Hello, FewCandy here, and welcome back to Fewnilla County, and the city is getting big. So we are going to be working on a viewer suggestion actually today over in this little area here, nestled between our green cities high density, our ore area, ironically, and also some open farmland which needs a bit of tweaking around the edges here now that we've got our boundaries in. So Nicolaj11 suggested that we put in an area that is centred on the elder care facility and becomes like a really kind of a focal point of a new low density neighbourhood. Potentially lots of pedestrian roads so there's no noisy cars around, and I absolutely love this idea. Thank you so much for sharing that, Nicolaj. So we are going to be doing that in here today. So it's actually going to be a few different builds going on, but we're going to be starting off with a large elder care complex over here. And I would just say before we continue, Joy Builds Cities, little shout out to her. She created an absolutely ginormous dementia village in the 5B1C series. I will link that video in the description below. It's really a very cool, very detailed, lovely build and a really great idea as well. So shout out to her because that's like the ultimate elder care facility. We're going to be doing something on a much smaller scale today. So I'm actually going to start off with, weirdly, the helicopter park, and we're going to have this as like our entrance to our little elder care facility here, which I think will be quite nice. I'm kind of thinking maybe it's a memorial for the founder of the elder care centre. Maybe he was a war veteran, a helicopter pilot or something like that, so he's got a giant bird with with a helicopter propeller in its mouth as the centre focal point going into our little retirement village. It kind of works. I just like the statue actually, and we haven't used it. It's a nice unique building, so I think let's have it in here. Before I do start, I do just want to iron this out and get rid of this hump because it's actually quite big, actually, a lot bigger than it looks. And when I was practicing and kind of planning for this build, it sort of ruined the landscape a little bit. So we are going to flatten out here and just work on a piece of nice flat land as we can. Let's go for a larger brush and we'll get it done quicker. So what I do want in here is I want actually several elder care facilities, and this one lines up really nicely centred in the middle of this park as well, which I very, very much enjoy there. But we're going to have a few of these facilities around this complex, and I want to connect them all up, like Nicolaj suggested, with some pedestrian roads. So I think we're going to use the small bluestone pedestrian road for this. We might add some grass and trees in later on as we come to do kind of some of the detailing for it. But let's actually just start off by wrapping our main building in this pedestrian road here. So we get these lovely nice little barriers coming off the side, off the actual road here. And because we're connecting this in, we then also do get some zebra crossings here so that people could technically walk through this park, I suppose, and on into the complex. So I think that will work for our main building. And then I want to make sure in here that we've got a few of these, but also things for the elders to do. So making good use of some of the parks I think is going to be key here. Particularly I'm thinking this old bridge park would probably centralise, oh it doesn't quite centralise, behind this building. Let's place it in there. It's almost centred. It's not too bad in that sense. We are going to want, of course, I'm forgetting, a pedestrian area in here, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's actually extend it a little bit out down towards the station, but yeah, this whole area is going to be our elder care complex over here. And then of course we do need to drop in a service point as well. So I think we're just going to go for the small one. There's not really going to be a huge amount of stuff in this area. So this should be plenty to kind of keep people going in that sense. I'm actually thinking we might stick it on this corner. Let's just pause the game a sec. I'm going to delete out this road here. Yeah, because we can get it right up to there. Let's leave one gap here because we want to make sure we're connecting in our pathway. We'll turn off snapping here and see if we can get in a little bit of a path, which may prove very difficult down the side here because it's just going to want to snap into it. Okay, that's better. We finally got it in. I just had to extend the bridge a little bit and have it coming straight down next to our station here. We need some detailing in here as well because it's pretty plain and boring right now, but we'll come back to that later on. So now that service point should be all hooked up into here. Hopefully that warning will disappear in a second. So yeah, we've got this nice lake in the middle, which I thought would be a really nice peaceful area for the elders to walk around. There's little tables and a gazebo and things like that for them to sit at and enjoy the duck pond maybe in this area. So I thought that was quite a nice kind of centre focal point to our little retirement village area. And then I'd definitely like to get some more accommodation in down the back. So let's go back to our pedestrian roads for this. Let's turn snapping back on. And I'm going to actually just connect this up to the road for a minute. So it's kind of a secondary pedestrian access point into the complex. And then we're going to wrap around the side of this park here. So we want to get this nicely aligned. And we'll have this coming up to the same level as this road, which is not there, like that. And I think what we could do is also connect this in here, which I think would make sense there, yeah. So let's get rid of that piece of road for the moment. And then I'm thinking in here, we're going to have 2 more elder care facilities, potentially back to back. I think would be quite a nice thing to do. So I think we'll orientate them the other way, otherwise this one's going to be looking out over the highway, which is not the nicest, let's face it. So we'll draw out a road like that for the moment. So let's get our first elder care facility and we'll pop that in right on the corner. And then I'm just going to draw in a big box all the way around this, because then hopefully we have enough space in here. Actually, I think that's slightly too wide to get one in back to back with it. Yes, we can. Yes. And actually that's fine, because then what we can do in terms of the park, so rather than having them back to back, we've got a little bit more breathing room in here. And then we can come in and grab some tiles, hopefully from our path, although those aren't vanilla tiles, are they? So no, let's have them perfectly back to back. There we go. So now those tiles actually meet in the middle, which I really quite enjoy, creating a central little plaza. Slightly less breathing room between the buildings, but the gazebos also work really nicely in that they're on opposite sides. This is actually a pretty cool formation, I think, and gives us lots of elder care accommodation. I fully appreciate this is completely inefficient. We do not need 3 elder cares like this all in one area, but we're going for design over practicality in this build. And also we do have, annoyingly, some car parking on our buildings, but I'm going to kind of suggest that they're maybe for the emergency services or that sort of thing, and that, you know, ordinary residents definitely can't drive up here. I do think we want to add in some parking though for visitors, which I think would make sense for this area. So let's go ahead and grab our little car parking spaces. And I'm thinking perhaps we just put in 2 just like that, just as a very simple parking area there. We could actually, instead of that, we could actually change it for the Railroads of Japan parking area, this one, because that's the same size. It does annoyingly fit with the terrain, but there's also kind of a security barrier on it as well, which I think would be a nice little feature for an area like this. I think there would need to be some kind of security to protect the elders in their homes for this area. And I'm thinking perhaps the other side as well, we drop in a small medical clinic, which we can fit in quite nicely there, just as extra help for those residents. Of course, they'd want to have close by medical access, which I'm sure would be in these buildings already. But yeah, I think that will kind of help with the aesthetics of the area, and with the car parking spaces there as well. We're on the bit that they can actually drive on, so I'm kind of comfortable with that. So in terms of other things for the elders to do, I am thinking let's go to the Hotel and Retreats DLC, because there's some little allotment parks that we could probably add in here. So let's place in 2 of these, and let's go to the sort of allotment style variation of them. So you could kind of imagine some of the elders coming out here to do a little spot of gardening, maybe. That's what I'm thinking, at the edge of the pond. So I think those go in quite well. We've also got some other assets we could place in here, like the community pool. I think that's probably quite a good rehabilitation, well, not rehabilitation, kind of exercise source for the elders. I'm wondering where the best position, annoyingly we can't slot it into there, although I don't think it would want to be up by the road really, would it anyway? So yeah, let's have it in here. And we do also have the yoga garden, which we could team it with. Let's give it a little bit of breathing room, I think, there. And then we'll add in some more trees and decorations around it. I'm thinking a nice pathway up this way. We are quite close to the railway and to the highway, so we would have some noise from that, but I think we can sort of protect them with a big tree boundary, and hopefully it would feel nice and kind of snug and quiet in here. It's quite close to the ore as well, but there we go. It's not quite under the flight path, so that's a benefit at least. So I think that's the kind of general layout of the main buildings for this area. I'm wondering if actually we maybe add in a small cafe as well and get another park into one of these spaces, potentially here. I have to see what design fits best. I quite like the glass one actually. The red brick is quite nice. We do have brick on our elder care buildings, or just a small little cafe like that. Yeah, that's quite quaint. I like that. So yeah, let's leave that one in there, and that can be just a little extra place for the elders to go that's sort of on the campus, as it were. So I think I'll come back to that in the detailing time lapse and finish off that. We definitely want some extra details and pathways, walkways, some leisurely quiet walks for them to take around the complex elsewhere, but I think that'll sit in pretty nicely. We've got lots and lots of accommodation for them, a few little things to do, a cafe, medical, parking for guests. So yeah, I feel like that's pretty complete in terms of the main assets. So for the rest of this area, I was having a look at what else we've got in our city, and I realised in terms of the malls, we actually haven't put in any of the large grocery stores at all across Fewcandy County. So I thought like maybe this would be quite a nice place for one of them. Like, so we've got the Food Plus store, or we have got the, whatever this one's called, Fresh Foods. I think I prefer this asset actually. Yeah, so I think we'll go for the Fresh Foods one out here. So let's delete that off for the moment. And yeah, I'd like to bring it off somewhere into this corner. So if we just, let's get rid of Bulldozer, get rid of that. Let's just check the size of it. We could even potentially have 2 grocery stores in this area actually, and make a little bit of a complex out of them with car parks, which could be quite nice. So let's grab our roads, and we'll just go for the normal concrete one for now and see where we get to. I quite like it quite snug in the corner up next to the highway, I think. So let's come straight out of here, and then we'll go across like that and see if we can fit this in here. I do want to be a little bit mindful that we have this delivery area on the back as well. And we could definitely flesh this out with a bit of the airport aprons and a few little random props, I think, there. Can we shift it over a little bit? We can't without interfering with the highway. So let's maybe actually just bring this back one step from where we had it. So we've got a tiny bit more room to play with at the back. And we'll bring the road out nicely so it aligns up with the edge of this grocery store. Oh, in fact, we're moving it over now, aren't we? So it doesn't really matter. There we go. Let's bring that out with the edge of the grocery store now. I like that. And then we can put in another road up this side to extend the car parking out over here. Like, we're definitely going to want no parking on these roads, I think, because we want people to go into the car park. So let's make those the concrete boundary. And we'll grab some of our larger car parks and place some of these in. So I have one there. I think we'll do a few of them back to back. So we've got quite an expansive large car parking area in here, which I think will be needed. Let's actually just check this other grocery store and see if we want to put it in here as well. So we have got the deliveries out the back here. The front of it definitely. I mean, the cafe is kind of on the corner there, so I don't mind that too much. Or we could, of course, potentially put it across this other side as well and have more car parking in that area. So maybe the deliveries actually are right up front. So it could go in like that. We'll have expansive car parking here. Let's grab our road and also extend out this car parking here. So we know we want 4 blocks left over. Yeah, so like that will work really nicely, and we can just join that in around it. Let's grab this one here, we'll add that in there, and then we'll do a kind of similar thing, I think, over this side as well. So yeah, that feels like a nice large shopping complex in there. Quite happy with that. I would love it if we could get a little garage on this corner, which would just kind of finish it off really nicely, wouldn't it? So let's see if we can get that to zone in. It may be a lot of trial and error there. But yeah, I definitely think something close-ish to the downtown as a big sort of out-of-town shopping centre is certainly needed. We've got literally nothing like that if you know the county so far. It was a big oversight, so yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. That is not the garage. We'll have to wait and see if we can get that in. Now, in terms of the rest of the area, I would actually like to put in, and let's tidy this up for starters, I'd actually like to put in some Green Cities low density housing, which I think will complement obviously our high density area over here. I also think it will sit in pretty nicely around our elder care as well. So I think that would be a good thing to do. Let's make our brush a little bit smaller. So we'll obviously for that want a district in here. So I'm actually going to cover pretty much this entire area, and we're going to try and pack them in relatively tightly with a kind of hopefully efficient road network in there. And again, that's not the garage. I'm going to come back to that. I'll come back to that. We do also want to think about this station a little bit down here, because we don't want residences right up to it, because the noise pollution from this is going to be pretty huge and they won't like it. I can't see because I've got the districts on. Yeah, so kind of up to this point, there's no way we're going to get houses, low density houses in there. So I think around here, let's actually put in a little bit more car parking for the station, because it is somewhat out of town. So I think we'll add in just maybe one large car park like that. Oh, that's incredibly annoying that that isn't completely lined up to the corner. I may fix that a little bit in the detailing, but for now that will be okay. Let's wrap this all the way round, which again we can't do. There's definitely an off-road here. Let's try and fix it. Okay, yeah, the train station is at a funny angle to our road network coming in, which does not help, but there we go. That has gone in now. I think what we will actually do is just connect this road up to here, and then we could have a small row of shops. So these will come in as... Oh, in fact, we haven't put the district specialisation on, have we? So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll have self-sufficient buildings for this district. I think we're also going to have organic and local produce commercial as well, because then we could have a small little strip of them here, which I think would probably be quite nice. Let's actually use zoning adjuster here as well, because we can, frankly. So let's upgrade this part of the road. Yeah, let's upgrade this. We can't upgrade that, really annoyingly, but that's given us a little bit of extra room for the commercial strip here, so that's okay. I may come back and fix that again in the detailing, but a little bit of commercial here will help again kind of block some of that noise from the residences that we'll put in here. So now you can see that's actually not too bad from that sense. So we could start coming in and zoning in some of our low density housing into here. And actually I'm thinking to myself, let's make this a little bit more interesting and give them a bit of space against the elder care. So we'll come out of this road like that. Oh, we've still got zoning adjuster on. Let's just update that. And then we can start to put in some housing into here. So we'll have a nice big block of housing there. Let's also carry this road network on behind. And we could create essentially a little block. I don't mind some of the broken elements to it, I think. I think it'll be okay. We'll get some different sized buildings in there at least, which will make it a little bit more interesting. I've just realised I've broken the cycle paths here, so let's fix that. And that actually, ironically, has fixed our commercial issue here too, so we can fill that right out. And then, of course, we can put in a little bit more housing in this space here, just like that. And then coming onto this side, we definitely want to do something similar here. I'm thinking we'll probably have a little bit more commercial along as a high street up this side. So let's bring the road out here, and I'd also like to leave a bit of a border. In fact, let's just bring the commercial up to here, and then we'll have a nice green belt border kind of protecting the housing area this side. And then we can bring this out and just start to form. I think we're just going to do some basic grids for this. Nothing too complicated or fancy. We have also forgotten to do zoning adjuster, but it's worked out okay actually over on that side, so that's not too bad. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe even something as simple as that. So let's go ahead and zone this up and see what we get in. And I think we'll definitely want to come through and add some tree lines onto these roads and make it feel a little bit more green in that sense. So while we wait for some of these buildings to come in before we get on with a bit of detailing, I've got a bookstore coming in here. The garage is just not happening. I changed the formation and it's still not happening, but we'll get there eventually. I would like to add in a bus route here because we have a little look at public transit. So yes, the elders and the people in this district do have access to the train station here, but we have no kind of bus route flowing through it, and nor actually through this district. So I thought it might be quite nice to add in a bus that's probably going to extend out to our village out this side, that flows through here, comes through maybe Walnut Hills, and then diverts off into the downtown bus station, so they get nice easy access around this area. Could even kind of stop on the edge of the DJ Central Park as well, I'm thinking. So yeah, let's go ahead and add in some stops. So for the moment, because this road isn't actually connected into this district, it will be via here somewhere. We're going to kind of start and stop the bus at this point. So I'm thinking actually we'll just loop it around our shopping complex here. So let's start off there, and then we'll come down. We'll definitely have another stop for right outside the elder care complex here, which I think makes a lot of sense. And then I'm thinking maybe in terms of connecting up the station, it would be beneficial to come down this way. So let's stop. They're probably easy enough access actually to that stop, and we can create some paths through back to the shopping complex there as well. So let's stop right outside the elder care this end here, and then also right outside the station. Then we're going to hopefully come up this road and we can stop outside the metro network up here. So they've got nice easy access to the entertainment district and the sports, should the elders want to. I'm thinking maybe the families in that district, probably more so. Then we're going to come up this road here, because we do actually have a school there as well. So I think that will be pretty good access to this point. So let's maybe stop here, and then let's stop closer up to the school here. And then we'll come directly through this neighbourhood. Let's stop by the park. Let's go. Oh, we could go under the arches actually. I quite like that. Yeah, let's definitely do that. And then can we bring it into the downtown? Yeah, so it flows nicely around the outside. So we'll then, I think, instead of stopping multiple places around here, we'll bring it to this point, and then they can hop on the tram if they want to get around here. So then let's mirror that and follow this back through. And then let's go to our bus lines. That must be bus line 9, yes. Let's choose the Railways of Japan bus, because I quite like that, and the capacity on it is really good. Let's make it a white line. We haven't got white yet. Let's do that, and we'll call it... We need to go around and do a lot of district naming actually, which I'm going to do in the next episode. So let me know your suggestions for this. I also need to label our bus lines because I've really failed on that. I'm going to call it Eldercare Line at the moment, because that's the only thing I can think of. So please do let me know your name suggestions for lots of districts. In fact, our Green Cities district we still need to name. This one we still need to name as well. Even Walnut Hills, there's a lot in Few County which hasn't been named properly, so we're going to have a massive little session of going round and giving them appropriate names. So yeah, nicely connected with transport now, I think, so that should be pretty well served. So yeah, because we got the main assets in, it's really kind of coming round. Oh my god, it's burning down. It's burning down. We do have a fire station, I think, somewhere right out here, right? Let's have a little, yeah, right here. Okay, so they should be covered. We should be all right. Oh no, I'm so sorry, elders. What have I done? So yeah, let's come in and do a bit of detailing to finish off our area. Okay, so nice straightforward build today, and I feel like this is looking pretty good. I actually decided to upgrade a lot of the highways around it to ones with sound barriers, just to help out the elderly a little bit and have slightly less noise pollution here. Yeah, we just come in, upgraded some of these pedestrian roads to ones with trees as well to help the atmosphere in the area, of course. Small little gazebo in the corner, which I'm quite enjoying. Lots more trees and undergrowth all around here to protect them, especially like here with the motorway. So really from street level, you'd actually not know that there was a highway there, and that's really what I wanted for this. And some nice flowers and calm environment for our residents of our little complex here. And just on this little seating bit here, love the AstroTurf from the mid-century modern content creator pack. That works really, really well, I think, for that. I initially did tiles and actually changed my mind, which I think was a good choice in that case. And then, yeah, there's not really much else to it. It's really just a bit of fencing and some trees around the place. We did also add in a few extra benches here and there for little sitting areas. This pathway that people do actually use, which is quite nice. Just looping through here with benches along it. Nice little benches sitting here out towards our duck pond or whatever that might be. And then just really tidied up the front a bit. Out here in the Green Cities neighbourhood, again, we've just kind of come in with a bit of fencing and tidied up some of these areas, put in some walking path connections, which are really important for neighbourhoods like this, I think, particularly where you've got dead-end roads here. You want citizens to be able to walk out onto the actual street, like we've got this old lady walking here now. Wonderful. And also given them a little bit of entertainment here with a playground asset, a little gym park asset, and also the gazebo as well from the park asset. So that's looking pretty nice. Also really liking this Green Cities commercial over here too. I think that fits in with the vibe really nicely. Of course it's going to go with the low density Green Cities housing. And hopefully these will upgrade a little bit more in time, because I think these are all still relatively low levels at the moment. So yeah, that was kind of that side. Again, I did actually add in a little bit more zoning up against the road here, which I thought was nice. I'm not loving this, actually. We probably need some fence or some kind of barrier to the main road for this old house here. But the rest of it's, yeah, kind of cool. Little pathways, as we've mentioned, in between. Left a lot of these roads with parking on, as you would expect in a low-density residential neighbourhood like this. And then coming on to the actual shopping complex, I decided to add in a little motel here, which I thought was quite a good location for it, particularly near the elder care as well. So any kind of relatives could potentially come and stay in the small little motel while they're visiting their loved ones. Finally got the garage asset in that I wanted, so that's sitting lovely on that corner there. And then added in actually these modern Japan assets over here alongside an office and also the roadside diner to act like fast food restaurants that you often find in these big out-of-town shopping centres and the such like. So yeah, lots of people using the bus line as well, which is good. The usage on that is yeah, really good. And then actually over by the farm I decided to add in a small amount more of our Green Cities housing and tidied up the edge of this field here. So I'm really loving the drive along this road into the downtown as well, particularly with the forestry fence, which works so well with the Green Cities housing. Obviously this bit missing, oversight by me. But yeah, as you come in on over this bridge, really loving that vibe. So yeah, it sits into the city pretty well there. We're really starting to crawl around the city now. Like when you look at the whole thing, it is actually starting to feel pretty big. Obviously we've got all these blank areas around the downtown still to fill out, so we will be coming onto those of course. And I also think the red roofs actually stand out really nicely in this area too, kind of against all that sort of grey and white and that sort of thing around it. Yeah, a little pop in colour is always nice to have. So for today that is going to be it, but if you have enjoyed the video, likes, comments and shares are really greatly appreciated, and let me know all of those name suggestions that we need for Vanilla County. We've got a lot of naming to do, so throw them at me. Anything we haven't named I need to know. The ore as well, we're still yet to name that, so keep the suggestions coming there and we will come on to that. But that is all from me for now, so thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for the cinematics and I will catch you again next time. Bye bye.